Gruesome action, the mobilization of IMU, and coming up to the end of the God Valley flashback. This chapter, more than anything, proves that we have no idea where this single flashback and subsequently where the Elbaf arc will be going. The more we approach the end of this incident as a result of Zebek's demise, the less I genuinely understand how Rox was toppled. If we're to believe Sengoku's words on the fall of Rox, then we surely must assume it takes an alliance of many. This review we will be diving deep into what the action, the dialogue, and the ending of this chapter implies for the future of this incident, and of the One Piece story. Let's sail into a dissection of what we've got. To kick things off, we finally get the resolution to Yamato's cover story. So we now understand that the story was intended to pay homage to the heroes that fell during the war in Onigashima. We may have placed more expectation than is necessary on this story, given we were coming off of Germa 66's mind-blowing ending, including the Blackbeard pirates and the kidnapping of Pudding. I may have been too harsh before on this cover story, but now I can see what it was about, a tribute. May the heroes at Wano continue to rest in their peace. The chapter starts where we last left off, with Rayleigh carrying Shaki away to try and escape from God Valley. We got a very romantic moment between the two of them when Rayleigh first arrives, and now the tension resumes. Shiki seems to be helping Rayleigh escape, not because he cares what happens to Rayleigh, but because Shaki may get hurt. Even recognizing the threat that is looming over this cursed island, all eyes remain on Shaki, and all focus remains on her survival. Something cryptic is Rayleigh mentioning that he has something to talk about, and Shaki suggesting that she already knows what he wants to talk about. This may grow on later to be a new plot thread that may give us context for where Rayleigh and Shaki ultimately end up, Sabaody. I'll circle back to Eva and Kuma later, but for now let's take a look at Garp's subplot. His personal stock price on the One Piece exchange has recently been taking a dive due to him playing a part in the Celestial Dragons' hunting competition. Yet, we finally see him start to question what he has been protecting all this time. Now, I'm not going to claim this completely redeems Garp's actions, especially knowing that he remains with the Marines for the rest of his career, and also that his involvement in Sword is purely speculative. But it is interesting to see Sengoku also not be entirely sure as to what is occurring, only claiming he heard about it from someone who then went on to disappear. Next, we see Rox having arrived at his wife Eris and his son Teach. He is attempting to carry them to safety, and we can see that some of the Davy clan members have been Dami-reversied into demons. They seem to be nearly stopped by two of God's knights, mainly Garling. They chat about this pirate siege on the Celestial Dragons' hunting competition being a blessing instead of a curse, as they get to take down not only one of the biggest threats to the world's current reigning power, but also a man with blood that King Emo hates. What's interesting is getting more information on Eris, who seems to have been a pirate, presumably from Lelouja, as she tells Rox to meet her there after they escape, and that she holds at least some sort of strength in her that got Rox to fall in love with her in the first place. While mother and son run away and Rox stays behind to absolutely rock Garling's head clean off, it surely would be interesting if Blackbeard was half Leloujan and half God Valian, as that would mean both of his homes got completely wiped from the world map. Yet another gallon of fuel added to the rage within him. Somewhere else, Kuma and Eva have come across two very powerful fruits, the Pawpaw fruit and the Azure Dragon fruit. Right as Eva is supposed to collect the dragon's power, future Emperor Big Mom comes to snatch it away from their hands. Kaido also comes in to collect her debt to him, as she originally wanted to feed the fruit to her son Katakuri, but instead Kaido takes it for himself. This seems to be tied to beef growing between Big Mom and Kaido, and the latter seems to have believed that the former was not going to pay up on her promise, thus taking matters into his own hands. It is yet unclear how serious this tension is between them, and whether it's going to lead to a 1 versus 1 between the two future emperors. But as we know, the slate must be wiped clean off at one point since they go on to form a very powerful alliance during Wano. A lot of chaos ensues following this minor clash. Garp keeps questioning whether justice is even at play on this island, pirates are scavenging through the treasure to keep what they can, and the people of God Valley are finally realizing that the Navy is not on their side. Saturn makes his descent onto God Valley, and he talks about whether allowing this chaos to keep going might risk something else being unleashed. In typical Elder fashion, this message is entirely cryptic. He might be talking about the powerful figures that are at play on this island, but he might similarly be talking about something completely different. We have long speculated that there might be something off with Rox. Not everyone can make it to the flower room at Marijua unscathed, and yet he did, and Emo wants him gone. As such, Emo reveals themselves to everyone on this island with a powerful black lightning strike, as they now have possessed Dan Gorosei Saint J. Garcia Saturn. This both confirms that IMU was indeed at God Valley and has to do with Zebek's disappearance, and also that this possession ability is not entirely restricted to Gunko. Right as the slaves are thanking Kuma for his heroism, all three of the leaders, Roger, Garp, and Zebek, turn their head noticing the powerful force that just descended into the island. Ending with Zebek's creepiest stance yet, having won the clash against Garling with seemingly no difficulty, we turn the page into the last double spread of the chapter. A double spread for the ages. Zebek teams up with Whitebeard and Kaido, who do not even slightly hesitate to help out Zebek, even after he tells them that they stand to gain nothing with what they are up against. Kaido shows off his ability to them, and while they're impressed, they're both wondering the same thing. What the hell are they up against? Garp questions reality, and Roger keeps smiling in the face of adversity, and we immediately get our answer. These men are, in reality, facing the world itself. Not only does this tie back around to years of speculation about the planets and stars in One Piece, confirming that IMU themselves symbolize the world itself and the darkness surrounding it in this age, but this directly has to do with what Katarina and Van Ogre were saying to Saturn about what they're going for, the world itself. An absolutely poetic choice of words. What stands in front of them is the greatest adversary any of them will come across in their entire lives. The world itself is in this entity's hands. Zebek knows, and now his crew knows. We are finally coming to a conclusion with this flashback, and it seems that every key player, both past and present, has a role to play. Action, history, and drama, this chapter was entirely packed. Are we going to see Zebek be betrayed and toppled? Will Garp change his mind about protecting the Navy and go on to start Sword? What do you think? Comment with your thoughts, and we'll catch you next week.